Alright, Unit 7 notes number 1 of the quadratic formula, also known as the beast. So what we've dealt with so far is solving our quadratic equations is we've been factoring them, setting them equal to 0, and then solving to figure out what value of x is to make our equation equal to 0. But sometimes we run across our quadratic equations where we can't factor them, so we need another method. So we need to figure out another way to do it so that we can solve it. Because some of our answers, they're not going to be nice numbers like 4. We're going to get messy numbers like 1.68. So we can't factor them. So we have to have another way to do it. And that method is the beast, or the quadratic formula. Now the quadratic formula is x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So that's why it's called the beast, because the quadratic formula is a large formula. It's negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac, all divided by 2a. Now if we look at this first example, we have x squared plus 2x minus 5. Now if we try to factor it, well, factors of negative 5 that give us 2, well, we can't factor it because we don't have factors of negative 5 that are going to give us positive 2. So then we have to use another method, which is the quadratic formula. And the reason we've done A, B, and C, we started with these, is so that we can plug them all into our formula. So just looking at this, we know that A is 1, B is 2, and C is negative 5. So when we go to solve this, we have our formula written up here. So it's x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So we're just going to plug all these numbers in. We're going to plug in our a for 1 for a, 2 for b, and negative 5 for c. So we have x equals negative b is going to be negative 2 plus or minus the square root of b squared. So we're going to get 2 squared. Now I'm going to get in the habit of putting this inside of parentheses so that when it's a negative, I always put it inside of parentheses. Minus 4 times a times c, all divided by 2a. Now we can simplify. We're going to simplify everything inside the radical first. So we get x equals negative 2 plus or minus. Now my radical, I'm going to, you can do this all in one step, but we're going to do these in two. We're going to get 2 squared, which is 4, and then negative 4 times 1 times negative 5 is going to give us a positive 20. So negative 4 times 1 is negative 4, and then negative 4 times negative 5 is positive 20. All divided by 2 times 1, which is 2. And now we can put this all right in the calculator also. So if I look at my calculator, I can just type all of this right into the calculator. So I can do 2 squared minus 4 times 1 times negative 5. Now it's going to be 24. So what I'm going to get here is the next step. I get x equals negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 24 divided by 2. Since 4 plus 20 is 24. So now we have a negative 2 plus or minus the square root of 24 divided by 2. So I'm actually going to arrow from here. I'm going to answer it over here, because we're going to get two answers. So we get x equals, now we're going to have the positive one. So we have a positive one, and we're going to have a negative one. So one in yellow and one in red. So we're going to do the positive one first. So I'm going to have negative 2 now plus the square root of 24 divided by 2. So I have to do the numerator first. So if I take my calculator and we have negative 2 plus the square root of 24. Now that is going to give me 2.8989798486. Now I divide this by 2, so I get 1.449. So I'm going to say that x equals 1.45. So I rounded my 449. I rounded this up to 1.45. And then when we look at the second one, where you have to do this 2 times, so now this is x equals negative 2. Now I'm going to do minus the square root of 24 divided by 2. So we have one where it's plus and then one where it's minus. And then we do negative 2 minus the square root of 24. And we hit enter, so we did our numerator, so we get negative 6.8989798486. And we divide that by 2, and it gives us negative 3.45. So x equals negative 3.45. So now our answer to this question, all right, what can x be? Well, x can equal 1.45 or negative 3.45. So x is about one of those two to give us our solution of 0. So now if we flip this over and look at example 2 on the back, we have 2x squared minus 6 equals 7x. Well, the first thing we have to do is write this in standard form. So we subtract the 7x, has to equal 0. So we get 2x squared minus 7x minus 6 equals 0. So now we can fill in a, b, and c. So we have 2, negative 7, and negative 6. And now I'm going to write my formula down. So it's x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a. So I have my a, my b, and my c. So now we just plug everything in. So we have x equals, now it's a negative b. Well, if I do a negative and a negative 7 plus or minus the square root, I have negative 7, put in parentheses, squared, minus 4, a is 2, so 4 times 2, and c is negative 6, all divided by 2a, and a is 2. So all divided by 2 times 2. So first thing is just plugging all of our numbers in. So that's the first step. So we write the formula, we plug all the numbers in, and now we clean it up a little bit. So we say x equals, well, a negative negative 7 is going to give me a positive 7 plus or minus the square root. Well, I'm going to figure out what this is. So negative 7 squared is going to be 49. And then negative 4 times 2 times negative 6, that is going to give me a positive 48. So 49 plus 48. And we can quickly just do that in the calculator also. So we do negative 7 squared minus 4 times 2 times negative 6. Make sure we put that negative 7 squared in parentheses. It's going to give us 97. Now, if I don't put it in parentheses, this is incorrect. So don't do this. This is incorrect. So we don't want to do this. I'm just going to show you how it gives us a different answer. So now it gives us, so now we get negative 1. But we know that the answer was supposed to be 97. So this is the correct way, where we put in parentheses and we get 97. So that is a huge difference there between 97 and negative 1. So I'm going to put 97 inside my radical. And then 2 times 2 is 4. So now we clean this all up, and now we get 2 answers. So once again, we're going to have 2 answers. We're going to have a positive answer, and then we use our minus the answer. Doesn't mean that one's positive and one's negative. It's not the case. It just means that one time we add to it, next time we subtract. So when we look at this, I'm going to write 2 of them. So x equals 7 plus the square root of 97 divided by 4. So when I look here, we do 7 plus the square root of 97, which is 16.8, and we divide that by 4, and we get 4.2. So we can say x equals 4.2. So x is about 4.2. And then we do the one where we subtract. So I'm going to write x equals 7 minus the square root of 97 divided by 4. So we do 7 minus the square root of 97 divided by 4. And this time we get 4 point, actually I did this wrong. Now, the mistake I made here is since I type it out, it's taking this radical, the square root of 97, and dividing it by 4 first. So, and then subtracting 7, so order of operation. So I want to do 7 minus the square root of 97, enter. Now that's negative 2.8, and then divide it by 4. So we get negative 0.7. So x is about negative 0.7. So if you type it all in together, it's going to do the order of operations and divide first, subtract second. Whereas we want to subtract our numerator first and then divide. So that's why we have to do the numerator and then the denominator. So we get x equals negative 0.7. So that means our answer for this question is x is about, so x is about 4.2 or negative 0.7. So that's our solution. That's our 0 for example 2. And that is the quadratic formula. We need to know it's x equals negative b plus or minus the square root of b squared minus 4ac all divided by 2a.